Hola mi gente! Welcome to Celestine Expressive Healing Arts. I'm Cecilia Inez. I'm here to do April energy update. You know how we do. I start with the astrology, major transits to get a kind of overview of what's going to be flowing through, how the story keeps unfolding and growing. And then we'll get into the spread. I'm using a different deck. I haven't used this deck in a minute, but I start with the tarot. I got the Fountain Tarot deck here. Then we move on to some extra clarification cards, some archetypes, and some elemental symbols. And then maybe I'll pull some extra cards in the end. I'm going to try to keep it concise, but you know that I always start going down deep rabbit holes of information and connections and stuff like that. But I'm going to try to keep it on point. So let's start. Let's jump in. Let's start with the astrology. The astrology is for April. I already feel the shift right now, for sure. The astrology for April is we start the month, right, with the full moon in Libra, which is happening April 1st, April Fool's Day. I should have looked that up. I want to understand what April Fool's Day is, where it comes from. I'm going to look that up. And then we'll be moving in. We have a really big major transit that's happening later on in the month. I've been hearing about it, a lot of astrologers talking about it. Uranus is going to be entering Gemini. It's a pretty revolutionary energy, and it's going to be with us for a while. I think that's why as well. I think it's going to be with us until 2033. So that's a lengthy time of this energy that's coming through. Venus is also entering Gemini. So both of these transits are happening April 24th and 25th. So again, at the end of the month. And then by right before that, we're going to be going into Taurus season. So a lot of earth, we're going to be going into earth energy. So from fire, we went from water to fire to earth. We're going to be grounding right into the earth energy April 19th. We have a lot of activity happening at the beginning of the month, which makes sense because we're going to be in Aries season, and that fiery energy that came through for the equinox reading. And so we have Mars going into Aries on the 9th. We have Mercury, which we now know is going to be direct, and it's going to be in Aries April 14th. And then we have the new moon that will be in Aries on April 17th. So it's a pivotal, astrological month. If I could sum up the energy of April, I would say that it's a turning point. It's a pivot point for all of us. Momentum is definitely going to be picking up, and it's been building, and it's going to continue to build and pick up after these very slow, reflective months, and like being in Pisces. We're gonna still, I'm doing this reading now at the end of March, so we're still kind of swimming in some of that. Even though the equinox has started, we're still swimming in some of that, all right, so we can even see this as past, maybe present, and then future. I think that works. So let's go into the Nine of Wands. If you see here, the Nine of Wands showing this person like he's not fighting anyone, but he does have those wands in his hands. It's like he's like having to make this really like this effort, like he's climbing up this pyramid, this he's going uphill, right? And it's like putting this energy. You could see his posture to try to just like, this is the last leg of the journey. I have to, it's like persevering. It's like resilience. Let me see what the keywords are. Resilience, like the last little bit of effort. And I myself feel that I'm just like counting down the days for the semester to be over. It's been a long journey. It's been a lot of intense work and a lot of intense energy to be in graduate school, especially at my older age. But nothing is ever impossible, right? Like you, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, you could do it no matter how old you are. And so, but anyway, I'm like so burned out and so ready to just finish. I'm at the last leg of my journey, and I'm feeling that. I'm feeling like this, you know, and I'm almost there. I'm almost at the finish line. Where is this card? And so the keywords for this card are hitting the target. So, right, staying focused, like you're almost there, like we're almost letting go. We're already like letting go of this old energy, this old cycle, persevering against the odds, extreme exertion, which is what I'm feeling now, but rewarded by relaxation. And I think that came up in the last reading where we were talking about like with the creative power or creative fire. It's like, yes, you're gonna have this motivation now and this energy, you know, the energy of the fire, but it's like containment and like resting along the way and taking care of yourself, self-preservation, self-care. And then it says your last minute surge and reflection. So reflection again, we're doing a little bit of that last reflecting, right? Oh, you know, this is it, coming to terms with something, being over and having to move forward. So it says you're nearly exhausted and a little doubtful he or she will he or she ever reach the top. This person exerts a final push in the hopes of completing what they started. With the 9 of Wands, success is certain. So that's great, right? It's like you can accomplish it if you just stay focused, steady focus, steady energy, steady effort. Each new challenge brings wisdom, but it also exacts a toll. So everything has a cost, right? It's like cause and effect. Everything costs something, even energetically. It costs time, it costs, you know, sometimes money, because like for instance with me in school, I had to, it was a big financial investment, which I'm going to be, anyway, that's a whole other story. So it takes effort in many different forms, our time, our financially, our resources, our energy. We're exerting a lot of energy, maybe mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, depending on what you do. And so you are stronger for your efforts, and now it is time to savor your achievements. So again, we're going to be close to feeling like we're going to be celebrating a milestone of some sort. And I mentioned that too before. And still, it doesn't mean that new challenges won't lie ahead. But now I feel like we're more prepared. We're stronger. We've learned a lot from previous lessons. We've gained wisdom, resilience, as I was saying. And that moves on to the River card. The River card, I feel like it's connecting to this energy of the horse. We got a lot of animal medicine, animal spirit medicine. We got the horse, we have wolf here, we have spider, we have the moth, and then we also have in this card, even though it says vision, it's not a particular animal totem, but we have the owls. So I'm going to incorporate the animal totems symbols as well. And so let's begin. So the river, starting with the horse spirit medicine, this embodies personal power, freedom, untamed wisdom, which is interesting because the wolf is also about like untamed wildness and like this, it has this like kind of wild, untamed energy, just like a wild horse running free. And the horse bridges the physical and the spiritual. So I feel like this is very physical, right? And then this is super spiritual. It represents a grounded yet free spirit, encouraging emotional healing, inner strength, and the reclamation of personal power. And that's what we're doing. And he's exerting his personal power, or she or they're exerting their personal power here, right? Like this horse. So let's read the River card. Let's see. The overarching, so the river is the stream, the flow of current. Key words are acceptance, grace. I like that, grace. Maybe we'll find a moment of grace. Maybe we have found a moment of grace. I found a moment of grace when I went out to nature. Again, I don't know if you remember, but I was like, oh, there's something missing, something I need to reconnect with. And it's funny, I went back to listen to my old readings, because it helps me remember the messages I'm sharing, because they apply to me as well. And I was like, wait, it's right in front of my face. Like, I've been talking about it, about reconnecting with nature and finding small ways of integrating rituals and like moments of pausing and rest and connecting to our own medicine and all the medicine that's available to us all around us. Like being out in nature, that's a form of medicine. And so I feel like the river card is kind of embodying that. It's also reflection, because if you see here, and water, that's the quality of water. It reflects, right? The surface of water reflects the light of the sun. If you look down, you can see your own reflection. So, and we've been doing a lot of reflecting. And another word that is here is forgiveness. So maybe there's something around forgiving ourselves, forgiving others. So as we let go of this person, place, or thing, or whatever, we're doing it from a place of forgiveness, right? Forgiving ourselves, showing ourselves self-compassion, letting go of any perfectionism, any guilt, any shame connected to past mistakes, past failures. It says here, the river carries us further down the stream of transformation than we plan to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new dreamlike vision. So yes, what's being reflected to us is this promise of like connecting to our freedom and our personal power, to our own, making liberation possible for us. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, fluidity. Here, there's fluidity lacking here, I feel. And so from here, we move on to this more, maybe learning to start, yes, making effort, but with more ease, right? With more trust, because the moth, I think, means trust. No, that's clairvoyance. The spider means trust. So it's like trusting ourselves, trusting the process, trusting divine guidance, so that we can move forward with more ease. Instead of like trying so hard and forcing things and forcing ourselves to show up in a certain way or do things in a certain way, and everything has to be perfect. And, it's like, no, like letting go a lot of that. Keep in mind that you that stands within the river is the real you. So this is almost like maybe the horse is us, right? It's a representation of us. That's the real us, right? We're free. We're liberated. We've reclaimed our power. Full of deep emotion and potential. Nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. Woo! Yes, baby. Let's do it. And now let's move to the wolf, because the wolf connects to that very much as well. The wolf means awaken your wildness. So there is an awakening your wildness. So when this energy is balanced, it's wise and it's purposeful. When it's blocked, the shadow aspect of it is blocked instinct, muted intuition. So this is about connecting to our intuition, our true self, and connecting to our own wisdom. But it also is about like rewilding ourselves, right? Maybe we've been holding back. Maybe we've been forgetting to be spontaneous, because that came up for me too. I was like, what is missing in my life? I'm stuck in this routine. I have all these demands, these responsibilities, these requirements that I have to fulfill. And I wasn't making time for this like energy of spontaneity, So wolf guides you to awaken your wildness. It is time to unblock your whole untamed self. Immerse yourself, your body in water. Let it dry in the sunshine. Engage in conversation with loved ones. Harmonize in song, stargaze, dance, welcome new ideas. What you lose in productivity, you will make up for it in revival of dormant instincts. So that, yeah, again, like, yes, you have responsibilities. Maybe you have a very demanding job, or you have a family and you have kids and you have to take care of, or, you know, you kind of are stuck in this routine. And it's like, yes, but you also have to make time and room for this. We were talking about that re-enchantment, right? Bringing more enchantment into your life, because that's food for the soul. Nurture what your ancestral guides have instilled in you and trust the process. A journey into your free, authentic self awaits. Free, authentic self, true self. So moving away from this, right? This is what's expected of me. This is all the stuff I have to do. You know, some of it ends up being very performative, where you're like, oh, fuck, I got to do this. I got to show up. You know, I got to say the right things, do the right things. This is, you know, or whatever is expected of me. But it's like, kind of moving away from that and moving more into your true authentic self. Beautiful. Let's move on to the next line. I'm trying to be really concise, my people. So 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords. You are leaving what is draining you. We were just talking about what is draining you. You're leaving what is draining you, moving away from any stress, any conflict. And conflict, we got the conflict card before. So conflict, stress, mental overwhelm, maybe you're over functioning. You know, maybe you're in a stressful job, or maybe a relationship that's really very stressful. So you have to ask yourself, like, what are the things I'm involved in? Who are the people I'm involved with? And is this sustainable? Is this supporting me, you know, in this person I'm becoming, and this direction, this new direction that I'm going in? Choosing peace over bitterness. So that connects to the forgiveness piece that we were talking about, because staying resentful and being angry, and even if someone hurt you, and even if someone betrayed you, doesn't justify their actions. But the longer you stay connected to that anger and to that resentment, it's like you're giving your power away to those situations and to those people. And especially if someone betrayed you and hurt you, they don't deserve that energy from you. So, like, take your power back, take your energy back, take your attention back. And, you know, and your peace of mind is worth more. And again, we're in this transition, because this is a transition card, right? They're moving, they're moving, and far out in the distance, you can't see it on the horizon. There's land. I see like a land or a distant shore that they're going to. So they're leaving this all behind, all these swords, all this conflict, all this bitterness, all this sadness, all this grief. Woo! Mi gente caribeña! So 6 of Swords, a new beginning. Keywords are overcoming adversity, shedding of the past. Remember, we got clinging to the past before in March. So now we finally are letting go. We're like making peace with it. An imminent beginning, a request for help. So an imminent beginning, and sometimes even when it's hard for us to move forward, life will sometimes do it for us in certain ways. Maybe like in the loss of a job. Maybe initially it's a loss, like it feels like a loss, like, oh, what am I, you know? But maybe it's divine intervention, right? There's a gift in that unsettling, unexpected situation that then puts you in the right place and aligns you to a better situation, a better job, a better relationship. A request for help that brings resolution, a return to harmony, travel, or a journey. Oh, this could also, that's interesting, can also symbolize an actual trip or a journey. Maybe, again, relocation. So let me read a little here quickly. The Six of Swords announces the end of a difficult situation and the beginning of a new future. A woman with the assistance of a ferryman. So there's also something around getting the assistance that we need, getting the help that we need, and something around not being able to do this on our own. Because here this person is on their own, right? They're just doing all this by themselves. And here, as they were saying in the description, she's with someone who's helping her get to this other place. And in the equinox reading, we got that. We got this idea of community, of coming together, of getting aligned with the right people, places, and things, or like connecting to like-minded people that we can build with. Because we were talking about building, right? Build this new beginning, this new future with other people, with, you know. Bravely sets out for a new shore, escaping the dark, murky circumstances of her past. Her willingness to ask for help, so maybe it's that too. Maybe you're the type of person that always kind of, again, we were talking about like over functioning and not, you know, and doing and being hyper independent and not being able to ask for help. And this is about shifting that. Maybe the shift that's happening is about realizing that you need help, and you need to, or maybe you need certain resources that you don't have, and doing the research to find those resources, or asking people for guidance and help in some shape or form. It will all begin to make sense very soon as calm waters provide you with the stability and safe passage. Boom. There you go. And I find it also very beautiful that these two cards, I almost feel like we're sailing to this. We're moving to this beautiful cosmic expansive energy, and leaving this, because this is very, very stark gray, you know. And then we have these beautiful blues, and like, you know, and even here with the water and all this color, these two cards kind of combine together. And the nectar, right? Nectar is medicine. Nectar is medicine from what I remember. Nectar means, yes, the medicine, the elixir, the garden. Because this is a rose. I don't know if it's a rose, but it's a flower. This represents glowing, relaxed, subtle illumination. I feel like that connects with this, like of like the easeful energy, reflection, forgiveness. So like this more relaxed feeling, this more soft, like soft, I think of softness, because flowers have that very soft energy, delicate kind of energy. It also represents subtle illumination. So something's gonna get illuminated. And then the shadow aspect is fixation on fixing. Wow, we were just talking about that. Aggressive approach to healing, right? Like forcing something to happen, expecting. This is coming up, and I think I have to mention it. I don't know, it just keeps coming up in my head. And also something that I experienced. Sometimes you want justice, right? You want closure, and you don't get that from the person who hurt you. You know, you don't get that sometimes, and you have to offer that up to yourself. Like you can have closure on your own terms, and you can create that closure for yourself. And maybe that's part of when we were talking about the art of rituals and ceremonies and initiations and transitions. It's like you can create your own ritual, release ritual, whatever, forgiveness ritual that allows you to give that closure to yourself, so that you can regain your own peace of mind and take back your power, and give that back to yourself. So instead of fixating on like them saying I'm sorry, you know, acknowledging what they did, let it go. You know, or maybe you're the one who hurt someone. Why don't we flip the script, right? Maybe you're the one who hurt someone or made a mistake, and you're like fixating on it. Grant yourself forgiveness. You know, we're all human. We all make mistakes, and it's like, or do something ceremony for yourself to let go of that. heavy energy. And so let's read a little bit here. The Nectar card calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, people, and activities that regenerate and heal. And we were talking about that too. To start acknowledging who are the people, what are the places, what are the practices, what are the activities that heal me, that regenerate me, that are reciprocal, right? Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle forms that you may be overlooking. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden you have forgotten. Don't underestimate this remedy. It is said when someone has activated the substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. I almost feel like what they're saying too is that the nectar lives within us. Like the medicine is inside us. We are the medicine. And so we don't need to wait for someone else to give it to us, to forgive us, or we don't need to wait for someone to apologize or whatever it is. Like we can offer that up to ourselves. And also it could be about working with certain medicines like elixirs and it mentions the garden. So I myself have been working with flower essences. You can work with plant medicines, with different, medicines that come from nature. I think of like essential oils. I think all those kinds of things that maybe you can bring into your practice, into these daily rituals, these weekly cyclical rituals that you do as a form of medicine as well. I myself like to work with plant medicines. I've done ayahuasca, I've done San Pedro, I've done a lot of different psychedelics. And I'm not prescribing that to anyone. Like, you know your body best, and you know what you can tolerate, and all that stuff, because some people are sensitive to substances. And so I would say do your research. If it's something you've been wanting to explore, like I did a lot of research before diving into all that stuff, and I was very intentional about the sources where I was getting things from, where I was who the teachers were, who the shamans were, the places to go for these things. Because unfortunately now that's another thing, that these kinds of things have become very commercialized, and it becomes like this touristic kind of activity. Like when you go to these countries like Peru, Central South America, Mexico, it's like it becomes almost like this it gets swallowed up by the capitalistic society that we live in, unfortunately. So just you want to work with people who are doing things with integrity and that are transparent and honest, and that are also honoring the lineages of where these things are coming from. Because that's another thing, that it gets appropriated and then misused, and it can do a lot of harm to people. So just be careful. So that's the nectar. You know what also reminds me of nectar? Love. The energy of love is also a nectar. Let's move to spider. Spider means trust. So balance, this energy balanced is inspired, being inspired, creative, and innovative, which is beautiful. And that is connecting again to this previous reading for the Aries equinox, which I'll put in the link below. I'll put the link below about connecting to our creative fire, right? So spider teaches a primal truth about the willingness to trust that the tools you have within will awaken your untapped capacities. This is talking about the medicine within, right? The nectar within. It is not only safe to live from your inspiration, it is advisable. When you weave your world out of passion rather than obligation, right? This is also obligation. This is passion. This is wanting us to connect to our passion. This is like, leave this behind, move more to this, flow with the river. Don't swim against it. Let it take you to where you have to go. Trust. When you weave your world out of passion rather than obligation, your authentic creativity and purpose are unleashed. You become a lightning rod of grace. The word grace is coming up again. This reminds me of grace. Take a page from Spider's book. Trust your passion and artistry as a portal for your prosperity. The shadow aspect of this card, this is the Spider card, so you can see it up close, is dogmatic adherence to the expectations of others. Shut up. This is what we were just talking about. I mean, if you think of spiders, right? Spiders weave, they create these beautiful webs. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes patience. And then when we're creating something, we were talking about that before as well. And I love how all these themes just, again, we're talking about weaving, weave together, interconnected. So the spider spirit medicine embodies creation, fate, and the power of weaving one's own reality. If we're talking about interconnectedness and connection, it's like that connects with peace and grace and like forgiveness and love. It's like we're all different. We have different ways of seeing things. We have different belief systems. We come from different cultures. We grew up differently. We have different socioeconomical realities, and all these different things. And it's like, in order to overcome all the conflict that we're seeing in the world, we have to be able to accept each other for who we are, accept our differences, accept different, belief systems, even if it's not ours. It says here, as a spiritual guide, the spider teaches balance, connecting with the greater web of life, utilizing creative intelligence to manifest, while warning against becoming caught in the illusions of the material world. Exactly. And then this last row, I feel, is moving towards this like greater web of life, because this is like this cosmic energy. It's so this divinity that lives within all of us, even if we're different. We're all born, we're all gonna die. We're all kind of figuring out things as we're coming along, and it's like, why not help each other along the way? The Fountain card, as I was saying, the Fountain card is not a card that you find in the normal tarot, but in this deck they added this extra card, and it comes off, as I said, it comes after the World card. And I'll read a little bit of the World card. The World card is the completion of a cycle. Boom, this is the completion of the cycle. These energies, these transits, these themes can extend out more, because even the eclipses that we went through, those eclipse energies are gonna be with us for the next 6 months. They don't just disappear. And even if you think of the moon cycles, the full moon and the new moon, we have the full moon, but that energy extends out days before and days after. So again, a trajectory in the life, the timelines, expand backwards and forwards. So it's the completion of a cycle, completion of a journey, a paradigm shift, which I love, and that's what's happening. Our perception is shifting. We got the Hangman for that mini tarot and nature reading I did. Peace of mind, ease. Wow, this is connecting with everything we were talking about. So now the Fountain card, it's all about a moment in we're getting a moment of cosmic clarity. So this is clarity, like this moment of seeing the light, something clicking, an awakening. We are going through an awakening, full awakening, the end of seeking. Because this could be seeking too, right? And I've talked a lot about just being, right? Being in the present moment, just being in stillness, just not always feeling like you have to seek answers and seek knowledge and accumulate all this information. Because we're living in the time of like cognitive overload. We're just like bombarded with so much information. So it's like letting go of that. Enlightened being, surrender to that which you are, whole and perfect. So from this to this, right? Oh, I'm not enough. I need to keep accumulating. I need to either accumulate material things and resources, and I have to, accolades and all that stuff. And and it's like nothing is ever enough. And then it's moving away from that to just being, just like, I'm enough. This moment is enough. Everything is where, I am where I'm supposed to be. Things are unfolding the way they should be, even though it doesn't fit what our expectations are, right? We get what we need. Maybe not what we want, and maybe sometimes what we want isn't really what we need, right? Let's read the fountain. So when the fountain appears in your reading, relinquish all illusion of control. Remain quiet. It invites you to observe, master less, to just be, effortless and indistinguishable from life. You are the voice and the breath of the universes. Woo! It says here, the fountain exists outside and beyond the cycles of birth, death, time, form. It is the nameless, the changeless, the source of which everything is a part of. Yeah. It is the waking from the dream of separateness and identity, and the recognition of one's self as not only connected to all things, but all things divine in nature. Wow. So this is divine connection. This is the great awakening of, like, Let's read vision. Owl medicine symbolizes deep wisdom, intuition, the ability to see what is hidden in darkness. This is crazy. We were talking about this. That something, if there's something, if there's some sort of deception, something being hidden, maybe we're in some level of denial. We're like lying to ourselves about something, like, oh, I know I should let go of this thing, but maybe it's going to work out this time, or maybe they're going to change, or it's going to be different, or something like that, or maybe someone is withholding information from us. But so the owl, right? Because owls can see in the dark. They're nocturnal creatures. So again, we're given the ability to see something that's hidden, that's in the darkness. Or even if it's like, because we were talking about the metaphor of like birthing something, right? And even we got the Angelica card, and like when we think of seeds, we were using the metaphor of trees and plants and how they grow, and like these seeds they're in the soil in this darkness, right? And a child, when a child is being formed in the womb, they're in darkness. They can hear and sense things, but it's like being in the unknown. And when you're creating something and you're manifesting something, you don't really know, you have an idea of what you're trying to create, but you don't know. So many things happen from the moment of like the idea, right? Like, oh, I have this idea, or I have this inspiration, and then you start kind of trying to implement it. But it, for me as a creative, it never ends up being exactly what I pictured it to be. Sometimes it ends up being even better, or like something even completely different from what I initiated. And it's surprising, and it's like, wow. So it's like trusting the process and trusting the unknown, because that's full of potential. The unknown could be scary, right? You're in the dark, you can't really see. You're just kind of putting one foot in the other. You have to feel your way through it. Sense your way through it. Use all your senses, right? And connect to your intuition, connect to this very innate energy, and find your way through. And this looks like a portal, like we're going through this portal, and we're being like, I feel like we're being held and guided. And even this looks like snakes, serpents. And that symbolizes transformation. What is this? This is like a medallion of some sort. Okay, so that's the owl. So yes, something's hidden in the darkness, often acting as a messenger between the physical and the spiritual. Weren't we talking about the horse also representing that? Bridging the physical and the spiritual. So we have both ends. We have that same energy. And this even looks like a portal too. I mean, it's a reflection. It almost looks like a piece of glass, but it almost looks like you can go into the water and go into this other realm. And that's the bridge, right? And here too. It represents clairvoyance, and we got clairvoyance. That's what the moth represents, clairvoyance. That is wild. Magical insight. We got the magician card before. The courage to navigate transition and death. It teaches silent observation and truth seeking. Okay, but let's read the actual card and see what's going on here. Vision is the dream, the imagined, the revealed. Again, I was saying something is going to be revealed, or we're gonna connect to these lost dreams we had, right? I always had this dream to create something, or I had this dream of, you know, me becoming this you know, version of myself, this future self, you know. It represents potent imagination, synchronicity, and trust. And we got trust, the spider's trust. So synchronicity too, right? Divine timing, trusting the timing of things. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors into, yeah, like a portal, right? A door. We trust new doors into wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the vision, life becomes dull and exhausting. What is this? Overworked, overextended, right? Overcommitted, saying yes to everything, you know, not setting boundaries of, you know, not making space for more of this, for more of this wildness, for more of this nurturing energy. Life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking meaning. Bring back the mystery, bring back the dreams. It is said that we are each born with a unique vision, a destiny towards which we are aimed. It is also said that we forget this vision from the moment we are born. Wow. So maybe that is the awakening. Something that we long ago, some vision, some dream that we had as maybe when we were younger that we lost touch with is now gonna be, it's gonna come back into our lives. Thus we are sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. Such is the elusive nature of the vision. It slips away, yet it guides. It slips away, yet it guides. So maybe we gave up on that dream because we thought it was impossible, or it was stupid, or like, oh, no one's gonna get it. I'm not capable of making it happen. And seemed unattainable, right? Or even impossible. But it's like, no, that is what keeps us going. You know, that is what keeps us alive, you know, not losing hope, believing in ourselves, believing in something more, something greater, that something more is possible. When we are connected to the vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. You see, again, that word enchantment came up. There's this book that I found that has to do with enchantment. I'm going to read it, and I might do a little talk about it. I'll do one of my reflective talks. I haven't done those in a long time. I think it's important to reconnect us. Maybe, yeah, I need to reconnect with that energy as well. So this is awesome. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I can feel it. It's like palpable for me to connect with this. This reading is really wow. All right, let's read the last card, and then hopefully I have not been rambling along too much. I could talk about this stuff forever. So the Moth card is clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is being able to see, right? It's like extra perceptive, or extra perceptive abilities. We all have these extra perceptive abilities that, again, we've kind of been disconnected from in the real world, in the material world. So it represents reliable, being reliable. Maybe you being reliable, reliable, and for, you know, relying on this vision that's coming through, intuition-based access to truth, or the reliable, because truth is like we can rely on the truth, right, to sustain us, to hold us, to guide us. So I think something around that. So the Moth whispers for you to trust your knowing, even if others wish to persuade you of different realities. Maybe that's what this deception is. It's like someone trying to manipulate, someone like, hey, we were talking about these dogmatic beliefs or like obsessive compulsive ways of doing things or whatever. And it's like maybe someone's like, hey, this is the way to do it. Or, hey, come, you know, you're like kind of going this way. And they're like, no, come the other way, you know. And it's like stopping and thinking for yourself. Does this feel right, you know? Is this and trusting your own intuition to guide you in the right direction. Like Moth, our clairvoyance flies through the night, where we're just not talking about the owl being nocturnal, these creatures of the night that can see in the darkness. The moth, our clairvoyance, yes, flies through the night of ignorance and forgetting, heading wholeheartedly towards illumination. This is illumination, a spark of illumination. Towards the light of truth. You will know whether you are experiencing authentic clairvoyance when you become still and allow the information to permeate your entirety, finding that it is validated by the coherent agreement of your body, heart, and mind. While the truth may cause you to stretch, which can sometimes be uncomfortable, it always feels like a move forward towards authentic liberation. This is what it is. This is alignment. And alignment is aligning our mind, our heart, right? It says here, our body, our heart, and our mind. Because when you think of intuition, that's what intuition is. You can't disregard your feelings. Of course, feelings are not facts. You have to be careful. But feelings are information. Like when you feel something, right? When you get activated or you get triggered or something feels off or whatever, that's involves some level of emotion, right? Someone upsets you, that's a boundary that was crossed. That's something that's going on that you have to reflect on. It doesn't mean to be reactive. It doesn't mean that you have to be, you know, handle it in an aggressive way, but you can like notice that, like, what's coming up for me on an emotional level, you know, on a physical level too, because your body has wisdom. It's like, oh, I felt something, like a knot in my stomach, you know. And then you bring in the mind, right? Because then the mind is the reflecting, it's the evaluating, is the reasoning. So you need all those things in order to know how to act. You can't have one without the other. You need the mind, you need the emotions. Emotions are very valuable. So someone telling you not to trust your emotions, I wouldn't trust them. That's what I would say. Of course, you have to be able to discern for yourself, right? Oh, what is this emotion telling me? Oh, this is connected to a core wound, right? But yet, because there can be multiple truths possible, right? Like a situation that happened to me with a real good friend was that I did get activated by something they said, right? In the moment, I wish I could have responded differently, but I was so stressed out, and like my capacity was like, just, I didn't have the capacity at the moment. But at the same time, so yes, I could have responded differently. Yes, it was connected to an old core wound that was then activated because maybe the way they said something or how they said it or whatever reminded me of something, you know, that happened in the past, some old memory, some old dynamic. And that is true. But also what happened was that they did cross a boundary, that what they were doing was coming also from their own unconscious patterns and way of operating, you know. And so there could be multiple truths in a situation. So that's why, like, you have to be open to nuances. You can't just think so black and white and simplify things in that sense, right? Like, you have to take time. That's why I always talk about time to reflect. You know, self-awareness is where it's at, you know. Like, you have to be self-aware. That's what self-empowerment is it being aware of yourself, being aware of your own body, your own emotions, your thought patterns, and being aware of how that interacts with other people, because everything is relational. Other people, environments, places, you know, anything that you're engaging with. We're sensory beings. You know, we have these senses in order to interact with the world around us and make meaning and make sense of it. And to create. We're here to create beauty, and to create the life we envision, and to bring, you know, and to create with other people and collaborate and build things together, and you know. So I'll leave it at that.